Good morning. It is 11:27 a.m. on Monday, October 12th, 2020. I'm Christiana Ellis. I didn't just get up. This is 5 more minutes. So, yeah, I sometimes get into a little bit of a weird mood where, like, last night I stayed up way too late and for no good reason. It's not like I was doing anything important at all. It was just about like, oh, I'm still playing this video game. I'm still watching TV. Like I tend to do that sometimes. Other times I have better discipline, but I think partly because I knew that I was taking today off, that I was able to allow it in my brain by saying, oh, well, I don't have to get up early in the morning anyway. And even though there was a part of me that was like, well, yeah, but don't you think it would be good to try to maintain some good sleep hygiene in order to um, be able to go to bed on time and get rested for Tuesday? But no, that part was not listened to. And so, yeah, so I stayed up way too late. And then that meant that in order to not start the day with a sleep deficit, I slept in, which is just, and then I woke up feeling weirdly guilty about that. So instead of just getting right to this video, I like started puttering around in the kitchen, and then I cleaned out my refrigerator. Yeah, so I don't know, like I can't help but wonder, like, if I've got some buried, you know, shade of anxiety going on in my subconscious about something. Off the top of my head, I'm not really sure exactly what it would be. Like, I mean, there's a couple of things that, like I like, there are things in the world that I'm worried about, both personal and public. But I don't know. This feels like it's behavior that I observe in myself when I'm nervous about some big upcoming thing, but I don't really know what that would be in this case. And in any case, I guess I'll be on the lookout for that, right? But yeah, so cleaning out my refrigerator was long overdue because part of the problem recently is that I've been a Blue Apron subscriber for a long time, and in general, I really like it. I've been getting 3 meals a week for um, pretty much like years, for a long time. And really liking that service. And, I would stop it when I was traveling out of town and that sort of thing. But it had just gotten to the point recently where I just kept putting off and putting off and putting off and not making those meals and opting for quicker things instead. I think part of it was the change in my daily routine presented by a little dog entering my life. Never, so like it shifted for a while for that reason, but then kind of never shifted back. And so I just kept not making the meals until they would spoil. And so basically my refrigerator was full of a lot of the things where, like, okay, well, if a certain meal was going to spoil, and then it was obvious that the fish was bad, and so I threw that out, but I still had all of the other little things for it. And or things that maybe were bad but had gotten buried by other things, and the refrigerator was kind of overstuffed, and it was starting to just feel gross. And so it was overdue to just clean all of that stuff out and be a little bit indiscriminate of, like, you know what, none of this, oh, well, I guess these cherry tomatoes might still be good. It's more like, nope, 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 nope. Gotta do it all at once or else it won't happen. So I did that, and then I, cleaned all the dishes out of the sink and everything, and that was kind of before I sort of felt like, okay, I can sit down now. I was just this, I think it was just this residual guilt for feeling vaguely like, well, I could have been more productive today to do more important things, and then I slept instead, and I only needed to sleep because I stayed up too late doing unimportant things. you know, it's sometimes having a human brain is a mess. Actually, that just reminds me, there's not enough time to talk about this at length. I mean, I could, but I won't. Which was that I just recently watched for the first time the original Universal Frankenstein movie. I'd never seen it. I, of course, had seen lots of like bits of it, certainly aware of many of the elements of it. I'd certainly seen Young Frankenstein several times. But, like one of the things that is right there in that original movie is the idea that the assistant, who is not named Igor in that movie, but rather Fritz, um, was going to steal this perfect brain, and then it accidentally breaks, and so grabs the abnormal criminal brain instead. And like that's not just from Young Frankenstein; it's in the original movie. But I kind of wish that that didn't happen because it really muddies the waters in terms of thinking about the creature, the monster, and what his deal is, right? Because he's played with great sympathy by Boris Karloff. And so even though he does dangerous things, like there's a whole question of like, well, but does he even understand what's happening? And you don't know. And, the idea that he has this abnormal criminal brain just makes it like, well, but is he doing those dangerous things because he remembers from before or just because he's this new creation? Like, and it just kind of makes it all messy in a way that I think was unnecessary. Anyway, I'll leave it there for right now, except to just say that tonight at, I think we're targeting 8 p.m. Eastern, Mike and I have completed the AFI's top 100 list, but we're not stopping watching 100 movies tonight. We're going to be talking about Gladiator and Groundhog Day. So join us for that. And in the meantime, I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.